Hello, this is Vamata King with Warframe Breakdown, where we break down Warframe so you can be broken in Warframe. So today we got the new update with the Emissary. It's a hot fix, and we happened to run into a couple people selling this nice little thing. So we happened to get this new weapon called the Pathocyst. Just kind of like how the wolf had his wolf sledge, we have indeed a Pathocyst. It looks like it's very much like the Falcor or like the Glaive. It is a throwing weapon where it's a melee throwing weapon, so you can have your sidearm out while you're throwing this Glaive looking up weapon. It is pretty much a status weapon. It's got a 30% status. It's got a 2.1 critical multiplier. It's got a 15% critical chance, and it deals viral damage. It's another weapon. So we're gonna break down this weapon to see what are the pros and cons of this weapon and see how we can utilize it. So we're gonna first color this thing. Let's see, can we throw skin on it? Yeah. Well, yeah, if we threw some of that stuff on it, we could probably, let's see how it looks like with some cosmetics. So we'll go ahead, we'll put a Sugatra on. Ooh, nice, very nice. We'll copy, oh, that copies the main colors. Oh, that's what the main colors look like. It's got that nice green vibe to it. Those aren't the colors we want though. So let's see. Let's get something that matches us here real quick. So we got this, seems to be the body of that. We'll make that nice dark black to match our color scheme here. That looks like the blade. I usually like the blade to be kind of a brighter part, but we'll go with the
strange. Ordis did not see the value of those photonic wavelengths until now.
Well, you can be quiet about those photonic wavelengths, okay? You're blind. Nobody cares that you're blind. Lord, I gotta give him such garbage all the time, so we'll do. Not sure I'm feeling it all the way, but we're just gonna make this work. Let's see. I wonder what if we just copied it over. Oh my goodness, that was worse. See why Ordis's eyes bleed sometimes. Put that right there. Maybe add almost like that. The main body of it. Maybe go with the dark gray just to add some. Not a whole lot of difference between those two colors. That's visibly apparent here. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep the energy color though a nice blue, because I like the blue color when it gets thrown. View attachments. We'll cut the colors that way. So we got very nice, very nice. So we'll see how we'll build this. Let's see, do we got any critical chance increase? No. Looks like the stats are about the same. It looks like the damage increases with the charge between the charge throws. Not a whole lot of like status or critical chance that changes with the throw. So it's not like you can really build for the throw versus just the melee. It looks like they're about the same in that regard and aspect. But the charge throw does deal more damage. So it's got that going for it. So you will be dealing more damage when you throw. So we'll just add in a stance here. Maybe I don't know. Got I got both of them on. Let's see, Gleaming Talon. It looks like I got less of the Gleaming Talon than I got the Astrolight. So we'll keep the Astrolight. We'll see what we'll go with that one direction. We will throw our Prime Pressure Point on. We'll throw our Prime Fury. Though it always seems to be pertinent. We'll throw a Blood Rush on because I always like dealing more damage with every single crit. This is technically a status chance weapon, so I could deal more status just by equipping more on. You know, we'll throw Berserker on because I like having more fire rate. I like having more melee rate fire when I hit. So we'll then throw on. Let's see, not maybe Jagged Edge. Let's see. We are dealing viral. We do that, does that give us, well, just gives us heat, so maybe just give us more toxin. Instead of just dealing viral only cuts the health in half. The toxin allows our damage to actually bypass the enemy's shields and goes directly towards our armor and health. So we'll use Verlu and Scrooge there. The reason why I'm also using that as well is because it increases our status chance here. Because this isn't a primarily slash weapon, one thing that you can always do sometimes if you have a high slash weapon is you can go for more relentless combination build, where when you actually proc slash this type, but this type would have to be the majority of the damage. technically it will proc second to our toxin, but since we threw Virulent Scourge on, it's going to proc third after our toxin and viral proc. So it looks like our toxin is going to be the one that procs the most, not so much our viral, which in our case does a little bit better for us, just because if the enemy's health gets cut in half, but we can't manage to make it past the shields, cutting that health in half doesn't do us a whole lot of good. We need the shields cut in half and the armor cut in half. The viral just only cuts just the raw health in half, which again doesn't do us a whole lot of good. So we'll keep that on, and we'll see what makes this weapon tick. We'll just go into any old mission. I'm always a sucker for endless fissure missions. Looks like I don't got any endless fissure missions up right now, so let's see. We will just go ahead and run. We need something small. We'll actually throw that on solo. That way nobody kills everything, just in case we do something different. Let's do, you know, let's just do Draco. We're already here. We'll do Draco. It's an endless survival mission, so you can get a good feel for, see how the weapon works, acts, behaves. We do have a sidearm here, a good sidearm. It's a Icarius. I definitely encourage picking up those sidearm weapons if you haven't gotten them already. They do a nice small little AoE weapon. It's very similar to the Exceltra in the way, like when it fires on impact, it does have a small explosion. But the Exceltra just rapid fire versus the Icarius is just kind of fire. So we do have those as our sidearms, and they are rapid, so that's what it is.
Keep the enemy busy while a fellow Tenno operative takes the ship for supplies. Ready? Trigger the alarm.
You're a triggered alarm, Davis.
You think I'd flown something a little less ugly.
Life support has been corrupted. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support. The first life support can be activated when your supply is low. Look, the life support module is dropped by fallen enemies.
So they're very easy to kill. They're not very difficult. We're only dealing about 500 anyways, so it's not bad.
Life support on the way.
Now, if we only had a single handed sidearm weapon, kind of like our Kathleen versus the Icarius, it automatically puts the blade away. So it's not gonna work functionally with the blade, but we won't be able to shoot it unless have a fast melee attack. So activate it in the way good, we'll be able to push the blade away. But that's all I can really do a little bit if it has Ack in the name. Then it has Ack in the name. We do kind of flies around really tell how far of an area that is. It does look like these throwers. This does have these, not the opposite, but oh, so it looks like I was hitting him from quite a ways away. Just wasn't a full on. Charge those now. As far as I can tell, there's not a whole.
Let's go.
support capsule is now available.
But yeah, it does look like that's on that. Spamming it, throwing it. It's possible that's. But it is sensitive to where you're looking. It doesn't seem that it's that. Definitely looks, but it does get the guys in the back.
Life support incoming.
Ooh, got him. Yeah, it does have a small ricochet. Let's see how far we can ricochet. Yeah, so it does have a very nice ricochet. I don't know if you saw that. That went pretty far and went quite a ways around, and that was a pretty nice recoil. So essentially, it's a very nice booming.
Additional life support has arrived.
Dreamers, you know about the infestation, right? Spreads like a month-old salad with genocidal intent. Swallows everything it touches, making monsters from meat or metal or both. Well, these days it's mostly contained. Spores as old as stone, derelicts drifting in forgotten orbits. So it was with old Kanga. Somehow exposed and promptly cast out. Woke up on a blessed cage drop down to Eris. But should some sad soul catch the gray vein, well, every cult has its plague dogma. But maybe there's something more to this infestation, something we all missed. Turns out, Kanga didn't find void in that hell nest, no. He found a survivor. Little boy, Arlo, died 3 years ago. Yet there he was. Lost his voice, but gained his life. And somehow saved old Kanga with the slightest touch of his slender hand. My mother was a cynical woman, smart as she was cruel. Nora, she said, no disease spreads faster or further than the ones in our head. She was talking about ideas. Mine was that old Kanga and his Wonder Boy would have been splayed out in some bio-trader's lab by now, or blood studies for the Grenier Command. Dreamers, I was wrong. Kanga's gray vein was just the beginning. White lung, parasitic liver, clone rot, even bone spurs. Turns out this kid, Arlo, is a healer. So many questions. An idea like that is like a flare dropped in Vol gas. Now the sick and curious are flocking the rails to see this emissary of Eris. And who speaks for Arlo the Mute? Why, old Kanga, of course. No more the outcast. It is he who is spreading the word of Arlo's gift. Even you, dreamers, may soon hear it. Whether you're bad news first or bad news last, tonight I got you covered, 'cause bad news is all we got. This emissary's word is spreading fast. A hot fever. Some are going to extremes to prove their devotion, trying the spores for themselves, and they're finding it too. Some lunatic spikers jacked the solar nav and flagged the derelict zones for all to see. Old haulers and new hopefuls out there are proving just how smart most people aren't. Yet Kanga's ranks are growing, arming themselves for the safety and security of our emissary, setting the stage for a great assembly to come. Buzz is Arlo will break his silence. Till then, dreamers, check under the bed. A fresh brood is sprouting up along the rails, and it seems they have the scent of those blessed by the emissary's touch. Y'all did see this coming, right, dreamers? Surely did, but not like this. A grand gathering before the emissary and his speaker. Standing room only. Bodies pressed to bodies. A great overheated mass breathing as one. Waiting for their beloved healer mute to speak. Kanga hushed the crowd. He shed his mask, and there he was, laughing at them. Sick as the day he was banished. More. His retribution was at hand, born of a virus spreading further and faster than spore and space ever could have. Arlo. And in that stunned silence, Arlo himself made a sound. Not a word, but a stifled gag. A swollen choke as he opened his mouth. And there it was, pointed, black, a tongue, but not, snaking and bulging and splitting him apart. I looked away then. I had to. But that sound stays with me. Not the sound of human terror, bad as it was, but what came after. The grinding wet, the rattling flutter, the congregation converted in the truest sense. Dreamers, you all got your work cut out for you. Though this movement has lost its head, the body still lingers. It's a bad cycle, dreamers. Arlo's devoted had a party and you're on cleanup detail. Derelicts are threatening every settlement from Mercury to Eris. And my sources say you're uniquely qualified to contain them. Meanwhile, I've been thinking, not about Kanga, but about what he actually found down there. Arlo, whatever he was. Some kind of lure? An evolution to bait us in? Is there more to this infestation than fangs and acid? I know what my mother would say. The people saw what they wanted, heard what they hoped, and human nature did the rest. Still, I'm hearing rumors. The mass on Eris is in turmoil, and nobody, but nobody wants to check it out. It's seething. And if it's not thinking about this whole ordeal, baby, it's feeling it. This is Nora Knight, saying for now, dreamers, so long and hold on. And listen, should you ever happen upon some vacant little kid someday, whatever you do, don't take him home. And we're out.
Very last chapter in Nightwave. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be going over how to actually go into the assassination mission with the new emissary Derelicts out. So, without further ado, here we go. We got the emissary Derelicts that come here. So the way this works is, if you haven't unlocked this mission type yet, there's this mission type called invasions. These evasions, the missions on them generically are random and they change every 15 minutes. They can be anything like a spy mission. So they can be defense mission, survival, exterminate, etc., etc., etc. They're all various, except for some of the missions that are infested in this case. So our current emissary says that we have to complete 3 on Ceres and 3 on Phobos. As you can see, I've already gotten a little started here. I've already completed 2 missions on Ceres and 3 missions on Phobos. You only can do 2 derelicts a day, 1 for each planet that there's a derelict for. So you'll only get a single-use emissary code 2 times a day. That's the most that you can do. You'll have to wait for the period to renew, which would happen 24 hours later from the moment you within the reoccurring date. So without further ado, let's look at here. So we see that we have 1 on Phobos. As you can see, it is a derelict assassinate. This one's a derelict exterminate now, because this one I just changed over. So we got the exterminate there, and then of course we got the Ceres assassinate. The benefit to it being the derelict is like when you do go into the derelict, they do give you additional standing for Nightwave, so it helps you catch up a little bit. If you are trying to start out getting to rank 30 now with only 2 weeks left, literally emissary this season of Nightwave ends on October 13th, so you don't have a whole lot of room to actually gather what you've already missed. Just going throughout the normal season, you've had to have played a little bit more than that, because every single time they redo these Nightwave missions, at most you could have gotten was about 4 or 5.
Always a pleasure.
Tiers. And at the very beginning of this new season, you were only getting at max possible if you completed every single available mission for the entire week. Was only at most was 4 tiers, so you could have only gotten 4,000 standing every single week. So 4,000 standings, 40,000 standings. So if you were trying to actually start, you're starting from ground 0 all the way up, you're not going to make it to where all these goodies are at the very end. You know, these Forma packs, these Umbra Formas, the Arcane Grace, these Emissary Operated Collections. You're not going to make it.
You know it.
Despite increasing it 3,000 a day, with only 2 weeks remaining, that's just not enough time to actually get through all of it. So there's that derelict. We're not going to go ahead and do that mission, even though we've already completed 3 out of 3 on Phobos. We're going to go ahead and complete the last one that we have on series. So we'll do we'll complete our last invasion mission. And as you can see, we've already started on Exta. Now, Exta, because it is an assassination node, it will always be the assassination target. I have yet to see where they've changed this. But for all intents and purposes, if it is on the assassination target for the entire planet, it will always be the assassination of Forid. Period. It won't ever change. It will always be that. These other mission nodes, though, however, like on Lex, you might go into it, and it might say that it's an exterminate, but it might time over while you're loading in, and it might turn into a spy and/or a defense. So if you do go in and it's not exactly what you expected, that is what it's going to be. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So we'll just, I don't want anybody to actually join me, so we'll go like this. Oh, I'm sorry, it'll appear offline. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and go into this. We just have this last one to do, so we're going to do Exit, because we know what it's going to be. It's going to be an in and out mission. It'll be this assassination very quick. We'll go in. We'll go to the relic, and we'll look at our new boss that we have. So we'll just do this infested outbreak, and as you can see, we'll get a special code after we complete this mission, because we'll have completed our 3rd mission, our 3rd invasion mission. Now, one thing it is to note is you can do any 3 invasion missions and it will still count it. You don't have to do 3 invasions on the consecutive node. It just has to be 3 invasion missions against the infested. So I could have done, say, this assassination target on Exta. I could have done the Lex one. Then I could have gone back to the Exta, and it still would have counted for 3. Or I could do it in any combination, just as long as I was doing an invasion mission against the infested. So here we go. I really like that Lyset skin. Oh, it's so beautiful, that organ skin. Good stuff. In here. Let's see what we got. such a nice skin today. Got a lot of people playing today. Of course, that's what happens when you got a new day. Excellent. So we are running our Gauss. Really like Gauss. If you haven't picked up Gauss, definitely encourage picking up Gauss. He's the fastest Warframe alive. Definitely like the Exceltra. It's I don't know if you guys are familiar with Halo. Honestly, it has a very much an answer feel to it. The answer inside of Halo is like when you shoot the bullet shoots at the ground, and it has a little bit of an explosion that comes in afterwards. So it'll just boom, explode, which is why I like it. It's a small AoE effect, however small it is. These guys might actually be there because I was into their match. I might actually get to. One thing that I'm doing with Gauss, which is very, I encourage people to actually do, is actually hold down the third when you jump. That changes your damage type from full to action.
Let's get out of here.
If I just activate my third, I can't right now. Let's see. I might pick up something. If you hold down the ability versus just tapping it, tapping the ability just turns it to cold damage. You do a large cold AoE versus large heat. So, very useful.
Target down. Assassination contract complete. Great work, Meadow.
Very thoughtful of him to reply that late. So we got to mix chances. If you weren't aware before, by taking out Forward, you do actually collect all the parts for Nyx. If you consecutively kill them, just keep on killing them, and you can purchase the Nyx blueprint for the regular Nyx Warframe.
Operator, messages have arrived in your inbox.
Ooh, look at what we got here. So, yep, see, Nora Knight. She has given us a Zealot. I'm gonna just leave squad there. We go back to that. Here we go. So we got, this is what a Zealot derelict code looks like. So emissary derelict moving forward, dream reaching up to your neck, yada. So I can now take this code, and this code only works on Ceres, as far as I'm aware. As far as I can tell, because it's the one for Ceres, because I got 3 out of 3 on Ceres, it will only let me access this node. It will not let me access the one on Phobos. So even if I wanted to go to the one on Phobos, I can only go to this one. So I will go to this one, because this one has a new boss. Before we go in, let me look at some of the things that we have. There is a new weapon that drops from this assassination target. It is called, let me look at the part here real quick. I already got one from earlier. Let's go to inventory right here. Boom, browse items. Pathocyst, I believe is what it's called. But I just want to show you that there is a brand new weapon that you can get, very much like how the wolf sledge you can get from the wolf. You can get the Pathocyst from this mission, and it is a melee weapon, which I can tell. Which I'm just surprised they didn't switch it up to be like a secondary or a primary weapon. But no, we got a melee weapon because it has a blade. The boss that we're going up against is very interesting. There are like a duo between the two guys. The boss is a fight that we're going up against 2 guys. There's going to be up against our infestation here. There is going to be a bastion.
Diagnostic regressions. All systems
oh my goodness!
nominal.
Shut up, Ordis.
You
Nobody
don't
likes
need
you.
to thank me.
So we got a bastion and we got a prelate. I might be saying that wrong, but we got a zealoid prelate and we got a bastion. The bastion is a big giant guy, the one that we're primarily taking down. And the prelate, this is Arlo. That's what this is. This is Arlo. And he can actually, which is kind of crazy, he can void dash and he can do all that other stuff. So let me go over here. go. Excellent. And then let's go ahead and get started on this mission. So here we go. We're going to load into the mission. And here we go. Let's see what we got going on. We got a gecko with us. It's not blending in with the background very well. He's got a bit of that yellow sticks out like a sore thumb. Just for the gecko. Just fly around here a little bit. So we'll go into this mission. I'm going to try to get that last scan of Bastion so we can actually get his drop tables, see everything that he drops, and all the information we can get about him. It should let me scan him twice in this mission, since we've already been through it once before. So we can see exactly what he drops. Now when we're going to this mission, we do this fight. We're going to initially be fighting him, and so you're fighting the guy directly, and then you find out that oh my goodness, stop loading in, guys. Go away. Okay, now we're gonna go try to find So as you can see, he is taking away the lives from the individual players. And let's just does drop. Or not a key, sorry, excuse me, this thing. This thing we actually want to take to our preload. Did reduce the amount of scans we had to have in order to make very much out of him. They reduced it from 30 to 3. Fire again, which is something. You got an unidentified item. We got 11 storm out of it. We did get a scan. Thrashers do spawn on this mission, so that's good news there. So we do, if I'm not mistaken, we do have a chance of that. So,
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
oh, there we go. Pathocyst blueprint. We gotta see how many parts we get. I think we just have this a handle left, because it does look like it's a single kind of melee weapon, so I'm assuming it's loading a handle. So in our case, we're 2/3 of the way there, which is very good for us. Hopefully we get the worst parts. But as all drop tables would have it, we probably will have to get this blueprint another 10 more times before we find it. Kind of like Gauss. When we go to Kelpie, you sit there, you grind there for what seems like eternity until after those 7. You have rotation B, B, C, C. And then you finally get a chassis. And then you do that for another 6 more times. Boom. Good. Everybody left. So let's see what we got on our scans here. Should now have it complete. Where are we looking? Factions. There we go. Scroll down. And we got all of our scans complete, so now we can go and look at our Bastion to see what he gives us. So it looks like Bastion doesn't give us anything. At least it's saying he doesn't give us anything, but we got, you know, his weaknesses, his strength, and stuff. So this is the Prelate. The Prelate gives us 19 extract, target acquired, Temple Royale, Spinning Needle, Shocking Touch, Northwind, Impact. But most importantly, he is allergic, deathly allergic to gas damage. And gas damage is made by taking fire, and you combine it on any one of your weapons with heat damage and toxin. Heat and toxin creates gas. And the gas procs, what it does is when it actually procs on the enemy, I'm not entirely sure if he's immune to procs. It didn't look like he was affected by procs, but if he is affected by procs, when you actually use gas, he'll actually take a gas cloud, and the gas cloud will
Operator,
actually form.
were you visualizing a bloody battle?
Me too.
And let's see, let's look at the Bastion and see what we're weak against here. Now Bastion is the one that drops the looks like the light note thing. He's also weak against the same thing, and he's the one that can void dash, which is kind of creepy and kind of a little scary. But yeah, so that's the Emissary Assassinate. If you like this video, go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos and tutorials like this, where we go over in detail everything that you need to know about it, every possible little thing there is to know about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and look at our other social medias, including Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We hope you guys have we'll probably see you guys later,